Welcome back everyone. Time to talk about another phone that came out, believe it or not, 4 years ago. I cannot believe this phone is 4 years old at this point, and that specific phone is the iPhone 7. Now this phone came out in 2016, and what I can tell you is at that time and even now, it's still a very polarizing phone to a lot of people, and I for one think that it was a very important device basically for Apple as a whole, but I don't think it was like the most impactful iPhone. But a byproduct of this phone ended up catapulting another product within Apple, which is pretty crazy that most people kind of forget about, that this iPhone was the one that even started the whole entire specific thing that I'm going to be talking about. Now, I've dropped like 5 reviews of this thing this year and many other videos sprinkled out throughout this year and last year. And this is not a full review. I'm basically going to be talking about the impact that this phone has had since the beginning and even now how it held up in the later part of 2020. And when this phone first came out in 2016, it was pretty much one of the more polarizing phones even at that point, because it was the first iPhone to not have that headphone jack inside of it. And at the same time, Apple released their new product, which were AirPods. And because so many people were picking up the iPhone 7, not like a billion people, but like a lot of people were going to buy it anyway, they ended up selling those AirPods basically with them, and most people would buy those AirPods with them. And this was like, I think, people's first viewpoint to a mass-produced Bluetooth headphones that were actually pretty impressive. I think before there were a lot of, like Beats wireless headphones, and a lot of other companies too, but you constantly had to pair them, and it wasn't as seamless as the experience as something like AirPods were. And for a lot of people, these AirPods were their first Bluetooth headphones. And for sure, the success of the AirPods in a way is alluded to the iPhone 7 for sure. And even before and after this iPhone 7, I mean, most people were, talking about, iPhone 7s that came after or before were basically phones with headphone jacks or iPhones without headphone jacks. And that was one reason why I would not upgrade to the iPhone 7 for a very long time, because I didn't want to give up my headphone jack. But eventually I did upgrade from my 6S Plus to a 7 Plus, I think in 2017 at some time. And I had a pretty good time with it too, but for sure the iPhone 7 with its design, with its change of design a little bit, and with that inbuilt home button onto the display with that vibration motor was definitely a very different thing for sure. Now this thing first came out with iOS 10, it's got an iOS 11, 12, 13, 14, and from rumors that are basically saying as of this point, a lot of people are saying that it's going to be ending off at iOS 15. So it's going to be getting another version of software, which I think is pretty important. This phone could easily support it, and with that 2GB of RAM inside of it, it's definitely showing its age for sure. It's definitely not the fastest phone, and I will tell you, throughout my whole entire lifetime owning these devices, I've had a lot of issues with my iPhone 7s, unfortunately. I've owned like 6 different iPhone 7s. You guys can look on my channel and look back and see all of them. And I've had a lot of problems with all of them. It doesn't necessarily mean that the iPhone 7s are plagued with issues, but there have been a lot of issues with these iPhone 7s for the most part. Again, not a deal breaker for a lot of people, I'm sure, but I probably wouldn't recommend using it, going out of your way to buy an iPhone 7. But I still think because of that software support that's still going to be available for this iPhone 7, especially with iOS 15, I think it's going to be a strong reason to pick this thing up for sure. Now, when it comes down to the internals and everything like that, I think a lot of people are going to be okay with it. The cameras are okay. There's nothing really about this phone that just screams like, wow, this is the craziest, best phone and it's held up so well. Phones like the iPhone 8 Plus and iPhone 10, I believe, are going to be one of those phones, just like how the 6S Plus was for a long time. I think with the iPhone 7 series, the biggest issue that I had are just the issues of updating. Whenever I would go and update my devices, for some reason I would always run into issues, and it was very annoying. I really didn't like that, but now that kind of went away with iOS 14. I don't know if it's going to come back, it might, but in that specific case, that's what I was kind of seeing. So the whole entire iPhone 7 release cycle, it may have not been the most impactful iPhone ever, but just think about how impactful AirPods are. Think about how important those are to the culture. And a lot of people use them. I have like 3 sets of AirPods. A ton of people use them every day. I'm more of like a wired connection type of person, which is kind of funny. But when it comes down to it, the iPhone 7s, I think, were very important for the whole entire system, even just the whole entire culture. Even now, nobody really uses an iPhone 7. Believe it or not, a lot of people still use the AirPods, even the first gen AirPods. A ton of people still use them. So in terms of that pretty much covers it up. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count. So it means so much if you guys can hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my other channels. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.